welcome to the International Show, sponsored by Star Central and presented by the gentleman of country radio, Mark Eckel, with Australia's First Lady of Song, Shaza Leigh.
A very, very warm welcome to OzCountryMusicRadio.com, Oz Radio Gold and Allied International Radio. Fabulous to have everybody tuned in to our Showcase International today, beaming out of the studios here in Mildura, Victoria, Australia, and Shaza Leigh out of the LBS studios in Tamworth, the capital of Australian country music. How are you today, Shaz?
Fantastic, Mark. We're having a great day once again, and lovely to be with you, and hello to all our listeners around the world.
Yes, and we have lined up in the studio with Justin Standley, and we also have on the line Michael LEHNEN from Sydney a little bit later on with the Silverline's latest release. So really looking forward to our program today. And you'd like me to cut over to the fabulous Jason Vorherr with this marvellous song that was co-written by a friend of ours, Lola Brinton.
Lola is a great writer, and this collaboration with Jason is an amazing track. We've actually just had the pleasure of putting together the lyric video for this through Star Central, and we've released the song to international radio. Just to give a little bit of a background, Jason is a Melbourne-based musician, and he's toured the world with Daryl Braithwaite, and a bass player and backing vocalist for the Little River Band and that comeback tour.
Wow.
So he's had a pretty amazing musical career. This song is a great song. I think it's going to do amazing things for Jason. So we'd like to go straight to Jason's new track, His Normality.
We all know the war's not over. We all know what it cost, but we don't know what it's all about. We just know how much we've lost. He sits alone in a cold, dark room. He doesn't look for company, with wounded thoughts of battles fought. This is his normality. We all know the war's not over. We all know what it costs, but we don't know what it's all about. We just know how much we've lost. He didn't cry when his best mate died, and his secret wounds grew. Now he's walking in the devil's garden with the brothers that he once knew. To hide. The black dog's biting deep inside. Reach out and offer your hand. Don't lose him in life's shifting sand. We all know the war's not over. We all know it costs, but we don't know what it's all about. But we just know how much we've lost. We just know how much we've lost. We just know how much we've lost.
What a beautiful voice.
Yeah, he's a great talent, and that's evident by the fact that he's been touring the world.
Yes.
For most of his life. It's great to see him doing something as a solo artist.
We'll hopefully have Jason on our showcase very shortly, so that'll be terrific. Somebody that I'd like to talk about, we haven't spoken about this gentleman for a little while, and that's Tom Maxwell. I know did a lot of recording with you, and I throw back many years when I was at the Wentworth Services Club, and Tom used to come through each time, and each time if it wasn't in the auditorium, it was in the lounge area, because nobody sings, country, particularly Australian country, like Tom. He's such a beautiful man too.
Tom's one of the most popular bush balladeers on the circuit. He's recorded with LBS Music since the mid-90s, and we've actually recorded 16 albums and a DVD for Tom. He's just won the National Bush Balladeer of the Year. They gave him a major award at the Town Hall a few weeks back. And 2 years ago, he released this single that I wrote for him with one of our great writers called Throw Yourself on Him and Ride. We'd like to share that with the listeners today, but we'd also like to just let everyone know Tom's in pretty good spirits. Lindsay went out to see him and spent the day with him the other day. He is commencing chemo, and we wish him all the best. So here's Tom Maxwell, Throw Yourself on Him and Ride.
Yeah, all the best from me too, Tommy.
A town in the outback or city arena somewhere, excitement is mounting as rodeo dust fills the air. A class and a culture with flank rope and glove in his hand, astride in the saddle, a fun-loving, bark-jumping man. With a spring in your step, just throw yourself on him and ride. No need to fear him, just sit there and spur up his hide. Make good of the gift that was given to you as a child. Do what you do best, just throw yourself on him and ride. Willing to learn, this novice bronc rider became, through ambition and talent, one of the best in the game. In a life of hard knocks, on the run, he challenged with pride, just waiting his chance for the chute gates to open and ride. With a spring in your step, just throw yourself on him and ride. No need to fear him, just sit there and spur up his hide. Make good of the gift that was given to you as a child. Do what you do best, just throw yourself on him and ride. What he sees today is his son as he heaves a deep sigh. The young bushman is riding with a spirit that never says die, and his aging old bones stand erect as he shouts and he cries. Don't fear him, young fella, just throw yourself on him and ride. With a spring in your step, just throw yourself on him and ride. No need to fear him, just sit there and spur up his hide. Make good of the gift that was given to you as a child. Do what you do best, just throw yourself on him and ride. Do what you do best, just throw yourself on him and ride.
Yes, the fabulous Tom Maxwell, and congratulations, Tom. I didn't realise he'd won that award. That's fabulous. And I think that's a pretty good segue, particularly me talking about Tom Maxwell coming through Mildura as often as he has in the past, because the fellow sitting alongside me this morning, Justin Standley, I know his surname. Thanks, Shaza.
Never trust a man with two first names as his name.
If you don't be quiet, you'll have Peggy working overtime once again.
Sorry, Peggy, we all live in fear. No, we love Peggy. She's the best.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about Dreamtime Cathedrals, aren't we? But first off, I was going to ask Justin about his history with Tom.
Oh, look, I've always loved Tom Maxwell. He was my first favourite bush balladeer. And like, I knew Tom long before he knew me. But what really warmed me to him and Lynn was I was doing a festival, I think it was out at Young. And I was pretty fresh on the scene. And I was literally camping in a little green tent. Like, I think everyone expected Kermit the Frog to jump out of it. And of course, it was parked next to Tom's great big truck, of a bus, tour bus. And they were so lovely. They came and they'd feed me sandwiches and stuff.
Help this poor young fella.
Help this poor young thing get on his feet, And we've done some shows together. I remember the first show we ever did together was right here in Mildura. It was. And, oh boy, I felt like I was a superstar because I was Tom Maxwell's support for that. You can't deny it. Like, there are some great country balladeers in this country, but Tom there is something magical in his storytelling voice. He can do anything though, and you know that, Shaza. Like, he can get up, he can do rock. I've heard him do pop songs, but he's most comfortable in that channel of telling a story with his voice and through song.
Justin, I'd like to bring you back to your career, and you started your debut album with LBS Music, and Tom's been with us for many, many years. Your first album went extremely well for you, and launched you into Australian country music, and it gave you a platform to then explore your music in different directions. Yes. That album was a magnificent album, and it's still my favourite work of yours to date.
Oh,
The songs were just so good, and one of the songs that I especially loved was Dreamtime Cathedrals.
Oh, mine too. I remember when you first played that to me. And it's like you just played it. It was just you and an acoustic guitar in the studio, and I just heard it, and I don't know if you remember this, Shaz, and I just went, "Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That's just number one all over." We never released it as a single though.
We wrote it for you to go on that album, and you invited me to do it as a duet.
Oh,
and
wow!
LBS Music released it as a single, and it ended up making it into the charts.
Get out of town! That's amazing.
Yeah, it was quite a successful track in its day.
Yeah.
And it certainly has been a track that people have loved, that you've recorded.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I like it gets played regularly on country radio stations all around the country. There's something magic about that. But what really blew me away is, like, we hadn't really even known each other that long, but when we sang together, it was like brother and sister. That's how I felt.
The vocals just blended for that song, and vocals don't always blend as good as ours did on that particular track. Yes. It was just one of those magical tracks.
Yes.
And I'd like to mention that I co-wrote that with Manfred Vijars, and as I said, it was written especially for you.
I didn't know that. Oh my God, you're going to make me cry, Shaza.
So whereabouts was that written, Shaza? And what brought that about?
we were looking for songs for Justin's album, and that's a big part of putting out a great album is actually just getting the songs right to begin with. And Justin, with his Aboriginal heritage, we thought that it'd be really lovely to have a song like that. And Manfred and I always did a lot of writing together. We've had quite a few hit singles. This is still amongst my favourite songs that Manfred and I have written.
When I was a child from our station, Cook Molly, the ways of the ancients were told. She'd point out the sky with her glistening eye, let the dramas of dreamtime unfold.
And all things are written not once but 2 times, in the heavens as well as on earth. Sitting by Molly's side, with our eyes open wide, we'd feast on those stories of worth.
Like the Milky Way rivers way upon high, aligned by our ancestors' fires, see clusters of Jews in our southern sky, through the windows of Dreamtime cathedrals. Those windows of Dreamtime cathedrals. Once nighttime was dark, no lights graced the sky. Some elders back then were convening, till a thin-aged old man came up with a plan. Look, his night boomerang is still gleaming.
And a family of sisters, 7 in all, by a warrior were grimly pursued. He captured 2, and off they both flew, and each night the chase is renewed.
And the Milky Way rivers way upon high, aligned by our ancestors' fires, see clusters of Jews in our southern sky, through the windows of Dreamtime cathedrals. Those windows of Dreamtime cathedrals. Yes, all things are written not once but 2 times, like the grading new rose in the sky.
Now from May to September we'll always remember Aunt Molly when winter is nigh.
And the Milky Way rivers way upon high, aligned by our ancestors' fires, see clusters of Jews in our southern sky, through the windows of Dreamtime cathedrals.
Those windows of Dreamtime cathedrals.
Yes, you've just heard the wonderful song between Justin Standley and Shaza Leigh, Dreamtime Cathedrals, from an album called Collaborations. And you would have heard us talking earlier this morning, Shaza, and you'd like to talk to Justin about his upcoming single.
Yes, I just quickly wanted to mention you do have a new single coming out, and it's great to see you have your career back on track after a personal break, Justin.
Thank you, yes. No, I'm looking forward to it. It's funny how life works, isn't it, Shaz? I mean, you know how this is. You've got a very
Yes.
strong spiritual connection. And
Yes.
everything in its own time. I really, like, even only as recently as March, I had really just given up. I saw you in January.
Yes.
You took one look at me and you knew that I wasn't in a good space. But
Yeah.
and even as March, April, I lost, as you know, I lost most of my family. Tragically, passed away in a very short space of time. My brother died in May, and I had another one in just a couple of months ago. But suddenly, it's like the sun has burst through the clouds, and through music and through my own sort of like spiritual connection, and music has been my salvation, and that's where I've just started to grow again. It's and it's now it's all flowing. Even this morning, like coming into the studio with you guys, like I had no intention. I wasn't even supposed to be at Mildura, and yet here I am. The shows have been great. The sales have been great. And all of a sudden, through Mark's little suggestion of coming in, and I wasn't planning on singing a song, and now I'm get to release a single through you guys. It couldn't be more perfect, and I'm so happy.
Fantastic, mate. And we really look forward to promoting your new single and promoting you and getting things all elevated again. We wish you every success into the future and look forward to catching up again soon, Justin. Thanks for your time today.
Nice. Thanks, Shaza. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, no drama, mate. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. And I think this is a nice segue to Trisha Hicks. Shaz, I don't know what you think, but with the wonderful work that Trisha is doing with Homes of Hope International and all her music, folks, you might know this, but if you download a Trisha Hicks track, all the money goes to her wonderful cause of sponsoring a girl rescued from trafficking in Bangladesh. And there's nobody sweeter than our Trisha Hicks, isn't that right?
Yeah, Trisha has a beautiful voice. She's just a great female artist in her own right, and the work that she is doing internationally is of extreme importance. So we do like to support her and her music. And the song we've chosen to promote today, that we released with Star Central some time back, is called "I Would Go Anywhere."
Sometimes things just don't go the way we planned them, and they all get turned around somehow. Here I'm stuck out on this blessed highway, and I'm really missing you now. Oh yeah. There's a cold wind blowing in from the northwest, and it looks like it's starting to rain. I know we didn't agree last time I saw you, but I need to see you again. Just to see my baby, just to see my baby. And I would do anything to be back in your arms again. Just like a pendulum swinging to and fro, that's my life. Seems to stop when I wanna go, but I love you, and I want you to know. didn't agree last time I saw you, but I need to see you again. Oh yeah, I would go anywhere just to see my baby, just to see my baby. And I would do anything to be back in your arms again. Oh, I would go anywhere just to see my baby, just to see my baby. And I would do anything to be back in your arms again. Oh, I would go anywhere just to see my baby, just to see my baby. I would do anything.
Yes, that's the wonderful Trisha Hicks. I would go anywhere. You are tuned in to Showcase International on OzCountryMusicRadio.com, Oz Radio Gold and Allied International Radio. And it's fabulous having you all on board. Mark Eckel behind the microphone with my co-host Shaza Leigh. Shaza, we have a wonderful little promotion each morning on our Oz Breakfast, recognising the awesome talents of a lady that passed away a few years ago now in America, in Oklahoma, in actual fact, Dawn Anita Plumlee, and our cowgirl poet that we have each morning as well, keeps the music of Dawn Anita Plumlee alive, and it's something that Oz Radio Gold and Star Central have been keeping on with because of the wonderful gesture that KC does. And not only that, the fabulous promotion that our stations received throughout the states due to this promotion.
Yes, Casey has been a wonderful supporter of all of the radio stations, the network, and really importantly of this show and the music. Like, she helps all of the artists promoting their music, actually helping with the uploading, and she's a wonderful poet in her own right. The fact that she promoted this track through Star Central for Dawn Anita is called Down on Wild Horse Creek. It's a great track. We released it 12 months ago, thanks to KC. And because she's in Mildura today, we thought it might be a nice segue to include this track to promote all of the things that we're all about together.
And also, I don't know whether you know, but KC has been she's in the top 5 nominations in the IWMA awards in the States.
It's just awesome, and she does deserve everything that she receives. Every accolade that is bestowed upon her is well deserved. She works so hard, loves country music, loves poetry, and just believes in promoting everybody. Wonderful lady, and we'd like to share Dawn Anita with Down on Wild Horse Creek.
There's a place out on the prairie that keeps on calling me to a time when we had nothing but our dreams. You'd fish when we got hungry, I'd pray when we were weak. I never thought we'd leave that ranch on Wild Horse Creek. Then a smooth-talking city slicker showed up on our farm, telling us there's black gold in your ground. its fancy marble floors. You'd think that I'd be happy, but I'm not. With all these so-called riches, what I'm really longing for is that precious peace of mind that can't be brought. We used to work together, now we've grown apart. Money just can't fill an empty heart. I've got that lonesome feeling, I'll tell you what I need. That little ranch way down on Wild Horse Creek. That little ranch way down on Wild Horse Creek. That little ranch way down on Wild Horse Creek. That little ranch way down on Wild Horse
Yes, that is such a beautiful track, and I've got to say this, I've got to send a cheerio out to two of our wonderful loyal listeners in Chitrangi and Carmela, who absolutely adore that song as well, and brings back very fond memories of a late great artist from Oklahoma, Dawn Anita Plumlee, and recognise KC's contribution. And thanks for that, Shaza. Shaz, something else I want to say to you is that climbing into my playlist all this week has been that beautiful song that you wrote in dedication to your dad called Our Father's Choice, and I'm sure you'd like to say something about that.
Thank you so much, Mark. At the time, that song gained great traction and momentum thanks to you and many of our friends on radio, and made it right up into the charts and stayed there for some time. It was a period when it was really difficult for me to probably enjoy the ride for the song because my father had just passed away. This song was written for the funeral as a tribute to him, and I sat back and had a listen to the song now, and it's a beautiful tribute to a great man, and I think I can probably enjoy it more now than what I did at the time.
Lovely.
Never let any man stand in his way. Raised his children to be the same, each one proud to bear his name. Now they share the pain he left today. Gone. He always tried to put his family first, especially when times were at their worst. And now by our Father's choice, the angels take him home. Fortune and ruled his world as the puzzle of life unfurled. proud and self-made man with a little spark. And as the family all gather round in eerie silence without a sound, and all their heads bowed down, he left his mark. Though he never was a man of God, he kept his word as if he was. He said, we live and then we're gone. We're just gone. He always tried to put his family first, especially when times were at their worst. And now by our Father's choice, the angels take him home. Now by our Father's choice, the angels take him home.
Yes, the wonderful Our Father's Choice, Shaza Leigh there. Very popular play here at Oz Radio Gold and Oz CMR and Allied International Radio. Well, I think we'll go and play Andy Penkow now, another wonderful independent artist, award-winning independent artist here in Australia, and a track that he did with Star Central called Shades on Me.
Friday and I'm scrolling, Keith Urban on Victrola, Oakleys and Coronas, not thinking about you. Then I came across your photo in Fendi and Manolo, dancing in Barbados out with somebody new. You're working hard at moving on, well I'm kicking it on my front lawn. You're white hot nights and I'm a cool afternoon, chasing disco lights while I'm waiting on the moon. We're under the same sun, but it's a different kind of free, 'cause the shine's on you, but the shade, yeah, the shade's on me. You know I ain't stressing, ain't no second guessing, knee deep in my best life, out here on my own. You're working hard at moving on. My living's easy now that you're gone. You're white hot nights and I'm a cool afternoon, chasing disco lights while I'm waiting on the moon. We're under the same sun, but it's a different kind of free, 'cause the shine's on you, but the shade, yeah, the shade's on me. I guess that's why it didn't work out. Just look at what we're doing right now. You're white hot nights and I'm a cool afternoon, chasing disco lights while I'm waiting on the moon. We're under the same sun, but it's a different kind of free, 'cause the shine's on you and the shade, yeah, the shade. Yeah, you're white hot nights and I'm a cool afternoon. You're chasing disco lights while I'm waiting on the moon. We're under the same sun, but it's a different kind of free, 'cause the shine's on you, but the shade, yeah, the shade's on me. Shades on me.
Yes, that's Andy Penkow and Shades on Me, a fabulous track that also did very, very well nationally and internationally for Andy Penkow. All right, Shaza, we've had a fabulous show today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the lovely collaboration of Lindsay, Butler and Peggy Gilchrist.
They recorded a track about 12 months ago called Someday When Things Are Good. That song hung around in the charts and on playlists for 12 months. It's only just dropped out of the Oz Hot Tracks, but it had been in there for almost 12 months. It's had an amazing run, and we thought it'd be nice to showcase this single before they move on to their next song. So it's Someday When Things Are Good by Lindsay Butler and Peggy Gilchrist.
And thanks very much, Shaza, for today's show. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me, Mark. It's always a pleasure, mate. Have a great week.
Okay, bye for now. What a wonderful piece of music, and no wonder it hung around for 12 months in our charts. Just fabulous. Beautiful playing from Lindsay Butler and Peggy Gilchrist. You are tuned in to Showcase International, and it's brought to you each week on OzCountryMusicRadio.com, Oz Radio Gold and Allied International Radio. And this week's special interview on Showcase International, I have the great pleasure to introduce to you Michael LEHNEN from the fabulous Silverline out of Sydney, Australia, that's made up of Michael and his wife Catherine. But we have Michael today to talk about well, I want to talk a little bit about their career as well, because they have done extraordinary things since coming together some time ago. So, Michael, a very warm welcome to Showcase International.
Thanks, Mark. All the best, buddy. Hope you're doing good.
Yes, we are. Thank you very much, and thank you to the music that you and Catherine have provided over the years. And we'll talk more about your single in just a moment, but people will recognise that the dulcet American tones that you have there, my friend. So you better tell us your story.
Well, my story is that I grew up on the west coast of America, but lived most of my adult life in Alabama, and got involved in music when I was 14 years old and started playing in bands and all that sort of thing. And one of the first things that I did once I started to get good enough at the guitar was I started to write my own little songs, and did that from the time I was a teenager right up on through. And, Cappy at one point here about 4 or 5 years ago said to me, "You should record some of your songs." And I thought, yeah, all right, yeah, it might not be a bad idea. So we did that. Found a guy. His name is Simon Johnson. He's a producer and owns a studio. And we got together with him and started writing songs. We originally only recorded 2 songs. We kind of felt like that was going to be the beginning and the end of it, because we had done "Let the Rain Fall," as you might remember.
Yes.
For the back in the days when we were in terrible drought. And we did another song at that time called "Silver Pins and Golden Needles," which actually went number 1 on the charts. One of the few that we didn't write. It was, at that time. But then one thing led to another. We kept writing songs and kept coming up with, wanting to record. Simon was amenable, so, we'd go up there. He's up north of Sydney. And we just kept recording, and you know what? We're still recording. We're doing stuff with him, even now. So, we just keep writing songs and keep producing them and sending them to you. So
well,
it's
a little wonder that you keep on recording them, because I don't know a song that you've put out that hasn't got into, if it didn't get to number 1. Hasn't reached the top 10 in the playlists around Australia. So congratulations to you. And it's incidentally, it's interesting that you were brought up in Alabama, because it's Hank Williams' birthday today. Did you know that?
Yep. As a matter of fact, he hails from Montgomery, which is
That's right.
quite a ways from where I lived. I lived up north, and he was way down south. It's almost like 2 different worlds. If you ever go there, the South is hot, humid, and flat anyway. But when you get down to Montgomery, it goes to a whole other level. It's just, it's that Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's very humid and very. It's just the South.
So you would have cut your teeth on Hank Williams' music, I bet.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my dad was a real big Hank Williams fan, and he took me to this movie when I was a child, just a young child. Of course, Hank passed away before I was born, but and it was called "You're Cheating Hard." It starred George Hamilton, and it was this movie we went to see, and I was hooked from that point on. I loved Hank Williams and loved his music, and still do.
Yeah, so fantastic.
We actually do some Hank Williams in our set when we perform live.
Yes, I know you do, and you do it fantastic. Tell me this, how did you and Catherine meet? Because Catherine's got a very interesting past in music too, hasn't she?
Yeah, she started out singing, in church. She started working with a friend of hers, a dear friend of hers, who happens to be Barry Crocker's youngest daughter.
That's right.
Of course, I didn't really know anything much about that sort of stuff when I came here, but she sang in did a lot of cabaret. She toured with the Australian Army Band. She did a lot of that real 3-part harmony, beautiful female stuff. Her true north has always been country, though.
Yeah.
And so, we got together and we performed, quite a few years, and then it happens that when I write songs, they all tend to come out country. So I can't help it.
Now tell us about this. Tell us about this single now, my friend, because you're featuring Craig Woodward this time.
Yeah, that's right. Craig and I and Kathy all got together, and we. It was a song that I had for quite a few years, but never really finished.
Okay.
There are a few of those rumbling around, by the way. And we just got together and started coming together with it, and Craig made some great contributions. Kathy made some great contributions, and it turned out to be a song that we call Runaway Heart. The idea being that I was somebody is finding love scary, if you will, and is wanting to kind of run away from that experience, but in the end they come good. So we recorded the song. Simon recorded it, and we put it together, and it came out really good. We're real pleased with it. So
have you performed it live as yet, Michael?
Nope.
Okay, good. So you'll have to save it up for Tamworth, mate.
Yeah, we'll be doing it there, obviously, but yeah.
Fantastic.
Hopefully we'll do it before then, but we've got actually a show coming up on the 2nd of November. It's a big show. It's going to be at the Smithfield RSL. It's a big ticketed show. Craig will be there.
Fantastic.
He's going to come in and do some of his stuff. Do a couple of. He does a great Keith Urban and Bryan Adams tribute.
Wow.
We're going to have him come in and do a couple of those, and I would assume we would be putting Runaway Heart in that show. So we'll see how we go. It
Fantastic.
Should be good. Should be really good.
All right, that's a good segue to hearing the song, and wishing you all the best, and please pass on to Catherine our love, and all the best, and we'll catch up with you at Tamworth.
You're going to come this year?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, you know what we need to do now.
Yeah, we need to go and eat that ice cream. I know.
That's all right, buddy. We need to go do that.
Okay, mate. See you later, Michael.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Yes, the Silverline with featuring Craig or Woodward there. Always lovely to play the Silverline with Michael and Catherine. Well, that's it for our show today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I thought it was a ripper today. Some wonderful people in there, in Justin Standley and also the fabulous Michael Lennon. Let's go out now with a wonderful Star Central number that's doing very well around Australia today, Highway 95, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Supporting the international show with Mark Eckel and Shaza Leigh. Proudly sponsored by Star Central and produced by Butler Gilchrist Productions.